Good morning, Parapod.
Hello.
It is episode 30 with your boys,
That's crazy.
Mark and Owen. 30 years old.
It's great to see. Great to see us back at it again.
We are nearly a full year at this. 26 more weeks.
Only two, is it?
Yeah, 20. Or how many?
22.
22, even less than that.
Yeah.
Jeez, remember episode 22?
No.
That was 2 months ago.
What was episode 22?
I'm gonna say Mandy. I'm gonna say we were talking about Mandy.
Yeah, because Staying Positive was episode 20. And then...
Oh, then we weren't. Never mind. Jesus, I feel like I watched Mandy like years ago.
Was that episode 20?
No, then. If episode 20... Oh, wait, I've gone the wrong way. Episode 20 is Staying Positive, yeah. So, Napoleon Dynamite. Yeah, I didn't even talk about Mandy that week. We talked about Falling Down for the first time and Christmas with the Cranks.
Ah, yeah. That was what, 2022?
That was... sorry, that's episode 20. 22 is Vibe Check. Jesus.
Vibe check. What was 22? Or 21?
21 was...
Lockdown. Live from Lockdown or something.
Cannibal Chainsaw. Extravaganza.
Yeah. That was a great one. That's probably when we peaked, to be fair. It's all gone downhill.
2 months ago. That's fucking years ago.
It actually is.
In lockdown years. That's ages ago.
Yeah, that's like 50 lockdown years. Yeah, I feel like that guy from I'm Thinking of Ending Things, you know?
Yeah. Oh, fuck that. Yeah. Episode 21, though. That was a good episode. That was the first Texas Chainsaw one.
Yeah, that's a great one, you know?
I feel like we should do another series.
Absolutely. But I don't know what to do.
I have no idea what one.
I was thinking Mad Max, but like, it's not... well, actually, no. I think Mad Max would be a shout.
We should do that before Furiosa comes out.
That would be... When's that? That's years away.
I think that's this year or next year.
Is it?
I think it's this year. If it's next year, fuck that. Who knows what the Parapod will be by that stage, but like...
I remember hearing about Furiosa when Fury Road came out, but just like nothing after that. Release date, June 2023.
Oh, fuck that.
Yeah, we'll do an episode on that when it comes out.
Yeah.
Well, hopefully we'll have the Mad Max series done by then.
Hopefully it gets leaked.
Yeah, so.
Fuck that. Alright, we're not doing that then. Mad Max is off the books.
Yeah, we'll find something anyway. Scooby-Doo series, animated series.
There's so many of them though.
We could do just the core, Phantom Menace. Oh no,
Phantom Menace.
Phantom Menace.
Fucked if I'm doing Star Wars.
Nah, fuck that. That's overdone. That's overcooked. What was it? Cyber Phantom?
Cyber Chase.
Cyber Menace. Yeah, Cyber Chase. Why am I just thinking of the Phantom Menace? Yes. Yeah, the Cyber Chase. Zombie Island.
I watched that recently. That holds up.
Zombie Island?
Yeah.
Zombie Island's one of the greatest films ever made.
Yeah.
That's a fact.
Yeah,
Take that to the bank. And then, what's the other one? There's one with aliens.
Alien Invasion, I'm pretty sure that one's just called. The one with the witch sisters or the Hex sisters?
The Hex.
Something like that. That's the witch one. Yeah, we make a list and we go through them.
Yeah, we'll do a Scooby-Doo themed thing. You know, do a list.
I'm down for that.
I'm down for that as well. I'll do it. I'll do it.
Good.
Sign me up.
So if we did Ghoul School, Zombie Island,
Cyber Chase, Alien Invasion. I think there's one about witches as well.
And the Hex
sisters thing.
That's 5.
That's 5. So we could just do that.
Okay, because I was going to say...
There's nothing else to do.
I was going to say... That's so true. I was going to say, we could end it with the live action ones.
Yeah.
But that's extending it to 7 weeks.
We could do both of them in one episode. So 6 weeks. 6 episodes. I think that's a show.
That'll get us up to episode 36. Jesus. Time is moving so quickly.
Yeah, slipping through the fingers.
But it's also moving incredibly slowly.
Yeah. Fuck that.
What have you been watching?
I watched Rabid. By David Cronenberg, our good friend of the podcast. Great guy, really, all around. I watched Rabid. I also watched Scanners.
I've seen bits of Scanners.
Yeah. I think everyone knows the
the
gif of the guy, his head explodes. Ever seen a gif of a guy his head explodes? That's Scanners.
In a suit.
That's usually the first 5 minutes of Scanners as well. But yeah, Scanners is actually really good. It's sort of similar to Videodrome, or you can see where he's sort of going towards that.
Yeah.
Because Scanners is from 81 and Rabid is from 77. Rabid is pretty like rudimentary, and it's like I don't know. It's just not that good, really.
Oh, really?
Yeah, it's just like a really sort of basic horror film, but it has like the sort of body horror elements as well. It's about a what was that?
It's the chair. So I'm trying to move it comfortable.
It's the chair.
There we go. Go ahead.
But it's about a couple, and they get in a motorcycle accident, and the guy's grand. His name's Hart, but the girl's all fucked up, and her name is Rose, and she has to get plastic surgery, and it goes horribly wrong, as you expect. But it goes wrong in a really weird way, because when they're like putting the skin grafts on her body, they're using this experimental technique where they get morphologically neutral skin cells.
Okay.
Skin cells that like can grow into anything, basically stem cells.
Oh, okay,
you know?
yeah.
And they attach it, they graft it onto her body, but it goes terribly wrong because the skin cells create a kind of it's like a mixture between an asshole, a penis, and a clitoris all at the same time, and it grows on her armpit.
That's the most fucking thing I've ever heard in my life.
It's so weird. It's like an ass, like in her armpit, but then like this sort of phallic object jumps out, but it's more like like a stinger almost, and she uses this to prey on humans around her, because for some reason she needs to drink human blood as well.
Okay.
And it's never really established why, but she does, and so it's basically a vampire film from there, but then it sort of changes again and turns into a pandemic film, really, because it's all within the space of an hour and 20 minutes. All this stuff sort of happens.
Because David Cronenberg films, they're not long.
Yeah, they're all mad short, and this really dragged. This dragged really bad, because everyone thinks it's rabies. It's set in Quebec originally, and they all think it's rabies, and they try to contain it, but they give all the people the vaccine for the rabies virus, and it doesn't work, and it keeps spreading, and anyone who gets bitten has to bite someone else and stuff like that, and they have to feed on human blood. But like eventually starts spreading around the world, and there's like army outposts set up, and there's like people like talking heads on TV talking about pandemics and stuff. They even have a vaccination passport. It's talked about. There's like a 5-minute segment dedicated to that, which is pretty weird, pretty topical at the moment. But yeah, it's not that good, really. It's just not like, it's just like it's sort of like it's half a vampire film, half a zombie film, half a Cronenberg film.
Yeah.
But then Scanners is like more into the cybernetics aspect of it, because they're following the Scanners is like an underground kind of race of people who have telepathic powers. Mm-hmm. But it's not just they're reading people's minds. It's like
they can explode them.
Yeah. The most powerful Scanners can explode your mind, because it's not just reading minds or like sort of getting inside someone's head. It's interfacing with another nervous system, with like breaking down the links and like sort of transcending the physical barrier of space. They have a big scene where they explain it. The evil company, it's called Consec, and they explain it. And it's basically about this company that, their experiments go wrong, whatever. One of the rogue agents gets out into the world. He wants to blow everything up and like kill people and turn everyone into a scanner. And the company hires this other guy who's also a scanner to go after.
So he's a hitman. Yeah,
basically. But he doesn't know it because he's so innocent and stuff. And then it turns out, well, actually, no, I won't spoil it, but there's like a pretty stupid twist at the end. But like, it's way more, you can see where he was going. Like, he's really developing. You get more into the Burroughs kind of vibes. Like Scanners is it wasn't well received, mainly because it's a pretty commercial film. It was one of the first Canadian films that ever really competed with American films at the box office. Like, it did pretty well. It sort of made his name, and Scanners really sort of shows how far he came in such a short space of time.
Yeah,
but it's pretty good.
When does The Fly come out?
The Fly, I think that's just after Videodrome. I think 85, 86. Like The Fly, Videodrome, like some of the all-time great horror films anyway.
Yeah.
Of the 20th century. But then like Scanners and Rabid, it's like Rabid's pretty shit. Scanners, it's like a 6 or 7-ish, on our scale. But it's cool. It's like a historical document, and it's like Scanners is pretty fun to watch as well.
Is it?
Yeah.
That's all that really matters.
Yeah, exactly. If you're having fun.
Yeah, because like I think The Fly is like amazing in a lot of ways.
The Fly's amazing.
I know that you love Videodrome, but I think I prefer The Fly. Imo. But I think that's just because I need to rewatch both of them at some point.
Yeah, The Fly's on Star, isn't it? So
yeah,
we'll have to watch that. Yeah, The Fly is like, I think it's one of the first films I ever watched where I really noticed like how tight the script was, like how well written certain scenes are. Like they just sort of naturally follow into each other. Like they're not even that long. Like the film's an hour and like 20-30 minutes.
Yeah, 30 minutes.
But like every scene is like so, like there's no fat on it or whatever. We say that a lot, but like there's no fat on The Fly.
Because it is like a Frankenstein kind of story, but it's Frankenstein on the body itself. Yeah.
And it's him as well.
And it's not. Yeah, it's kind of like something you shouldn't be messing with. Time and space. It's kind of what it's going for, rather than messing with the power of God. Because like one little mistake can cause fucking havoc, like leaving a fly in the fucking chamber.
Yeah,
it fucks you up.
Yeah, he doesn't do too well.
What happens to the actual fly then? What does that thing do?
I think he kills it early on.
Does he? Yeah.
It's like super strong.
Oh,
I can't remember actually. I have to rewatch it.
Yeah, I have to rewatch it. But that's really fucked up because that like you think that like, and like I think in a more like conventional kind of horror film, I guess, like he would have been saved maybe. But like it's a completely hopeless. Like there's no saving him.
Yeah, he gets fucked up.
Yeah, he does.
Yeah, it's like there's no redemption at the end of it. There's no like how does Frankenstein end?
The monster getting away and it's like living his life, kind of vibing.
Just Frankie vibing in the Arctic.
But he's really sad.
Yeah, there's no redemption in this, I suppose, in The Fly, all of them.
What about Scanners? How does that, like, I know you said it ends it with the
twist. No, the Scanners is like a really sort of trite ending. Right. It's like they win. Like literally the last line is we won.
Oh, fuck that.
But yeah, what else have you been watching? What else have you been looking at?
Talking about, weird vibes, spooky vibes. I took your recommendation and I watched episode of the X-Files, Home,
one of the all-time greats. An amazing episode.
A fantastic episode.
It's so good.
That was a great hour of television, let me tell you.
TVMA, which is like American speak for like 18s,
You can see why.
Yeah, they kill a baby in the opening scene.
Pretty full on, like.
Yeah, it's so intense. Yeah, there's like the sheriff, sheriff guy. He's like sort of a known actor. I can't remember his name.
I recognize him, but I didn't know from what.
Yeah, I think everyone would recognize him. He's in certain films. I can't remember his name, but yeah, he signed.
When do we ever remember actors' names?
Yeah, we just don't know actors' names. But he signed on to the episode without reading the script. Like he's like, the X-Files, handy money, sign me up. And then he was like, he read the script and he was like, what the fuck is this? And he objected to it, and he said filming it was one of the most unpleasant experiences.
That is fucking gas.
Like the original themes, the original vibe of X-Files is basically what Home is, but it sort of got away from that. Like the whole conspiracy arc with Mulder and his sister, and all the stuff that I don't like. It's just sort of like boring. Like it's more focused on that as the seasons go on, and Home is in season 4. So it was written by the writers in an attempt to go back to the roots. Yeah, it was written by the guys who like the original writers, and they left in season 2, and they only could just come back for season 4, and they want to,
change it up a bit.
Yeah, place down a marker. Tell people the X-Files is back. But it was watched by 20 million people, which is pretty cool. 20 million people. You wouldn't get that on TV these days.
No, you wouldn't.
Only for the Super Bowl and stuff like that. But yeah, it's pretty popular. I just think it was pretty cool that one of the biggest TV shows made an episode like this. Yeah,
it's because I know that when I watched Grey's Anatomy last week, that was like pretty much exactly what I thought Grey's Anatomy is, but not quite, because with Grey's Anatomy it escalated in a really intense way. I told you about it. I didn't really talk about it on the podcast, but it escalated in a really beautiful way that I admire, and I'm fair folks. But apparently that gets even better. I was talking about it in the film club last night. Oh, by the way, if anyone's wondering, I watched the shooter episodes of Grey's Anatomy. That escalates like a shooter in a hospital, but 2 seasons later or something, a plane crashes, and it's about that. And another episode, there's an earthquake, and there's just mad shit happens all the fucking time. So Grey's Anatomy was what I expected it to be, but watching X-Files Home, it was what I expected X-Files to be, but way more fucked up and way more intense than I thought it was going to be. Holy shit, man.
Yeah.
Because my two experiences, right, with X-Files is, or I guess three in a way. The first one is the Simpsons episode with the X-Files.
Yeah,
and that
great.
shit freaked me the fuck out when I was younger, right? Then obviously the theme music, which is already fucking creepy as fuck.
Yeah, how did they come up with that? Like,
And then I watched this. I'm like, what the fuck? Is X-Files is like the most haunted fucking shit ever.
it's great. It's so creepy. I used to come home from school every single day. Yeah, for dinner. And I sit down, turn on, I think it was either Dave or the Sci-Fi channel back when it was like just like the science fiction channel.
Yeah.
And for some reason I had Prince of Bel-Air on, was on at 5:30. And then the X-Files was always on at 6. But they played it in chronological order, so we went through the entire series basically. And for like 2 years I sat down and watched X-Files after school every single day. It was amazing.
That
it was
is
great.
beautiful.
You know, it's just also Fresh Prince. I also love that because of that experience. It's just a perfect kind of lineup, you know. That's TV at its finest, you know.
That
just
is
completely random programming. Two series that have nothing to do with each other, like opposite ends of the spectrum in terms of genre. And you just sit down, you just enjoy it, you know. You just go along week by week or day by day. It's great.
That's amazing. That much, man. That's good.
It was a beautiful moment.
That
for my
is beautiful.
childhood.
That is a beautiful moment. I really love those, like, that routine of waking up and watching things when you were younger. Like, I used to wake up really early on a Saturday and a Sunday to watch wrestling, because Raw and SmackDown would be on like early Saturday morning, and then Raw would be on early Saturday morning, and then on Sunday it'd be SmackDown.
Yeah,
that was a beautiful experience.
Yeah, the routine you sort of miss. It's like, oh, I can watch this whenever I want, but I won't watch all these.
No,
you know.
I always, man, my list is forever. Like, I'm never tapping into it, and it just keeps getting longer.
Yeah, it's the exact same. Yeah, it's like, it's almost better when someone just chooses for you. There's just the programming, and then you can talk about it with people, because everyone, you know, sort of sees the same stuff on TV. It's all the same channels.
Yeah,
but you know, there's something about that. It's like a ritual.
That water cooler talk.
Yeah, the water cooler talk. Yeah.
Yeah.
In school the next day, talking about the X-Files
at the fountain. Did you see the game last night?
Yeah, those are the days.
But with X-Files, like, when you described this episode to me, you said it was kind of like kind of Texas Chainsaw vibes. By fucking God, does it? Oh my God. Like, it is super Texas Chainsaw-y, but even in terms of like the like subtext to it, or whatever it's talking about, because it's talking about like this place called home.
Yeah.
And they don't have to lock their doors in home, and that comes into it later on. And they don't, like, everyone knows each other. Everyone is friends. Everyone is family, basically, which is kind of incestual in and of itself, but whatever. And then on the outskirts of this town, you have this like rooted evil, this like primal evil is what Mulder kind of describes it as. That like the three brothers who are like just a mess. Like, that is just humans gone wrong, where they're just constant inbreeding to like. I think they describe like, I think what's her name?
Scully
describes like the baby at one stage as like beyond like human evolution. Like, this is too much like genetic fuck up to like be humanly possible. Like, this should not, like, this is an abomination of life itself.
Yeah. Because the baby's supposed to be, there's like the three guys on the farm, and that's what the townspeople know about. But there's also a mother that like isn't shown to the world, and the baby is supposed to be the the child of both the mother and all three of the men in the house. And the men in the house are also father and son and stuff like that, and brothers at the same time. And like, they have this thing they have in every episode of the X-Files where they make up some random bullshit about science. It's like, oh, the generations of inbreeding has like has weakened the ovum to the extent that 3 sperm cells can fertilize at the same time, and that's the only way this could ever make sense. And it's like, yeah, of course it does, Scully, of course. But yeah, it's fucked. The baby's fucked up, you know.
The baby's fucked. And the whole family's fucked up.
They're not doing too well. Like.
But like, the idea though of it being that like this rooted primordial evil kind of thing within the home itself, within like America as a landscape itself, that there's like something wrong, and kind of. It's really heavy it's really on the nose about that stuff, because the place is called home, and like, I'm pretty sure like the cop or whatever, he's just like, I don't even use a gun or anything. There's only 2 cops in the house or in the entire town, and he gets fucked up because of that.
Yeah, that scene's really distressing. You can barely see what's going on in it though.
Yeah.
It's mad dark.
And it's not even explained why. Just because they heard it.
They heard when Mulder and Scully were in the gaff, like looking around, they were like, oh, put a warrant out for these lads' arrest. But they didn't know that the mother was under the bed.
Yeah.
And she told the boys, and the boys were like, oh, let's fuck up the sheriff. You put out a warrant for our arrest. You know? I don't know why they just don't go after Scully and Mulder, but I suppose that's a whole different kettle of fish.
Yeah.
But yeah, the sheriff says at one point, he's like, oh, once I found that fetus in the ground, I knew the modern world had arrived to home, had come home or something like that. That's like, you know, just it sort of explains the theme straight away in the first like 10 minutes.
Yeah, even like the idea of like a baby under the ground and it being this like, you know, it's about like, you know, planting, but it's also, you know, life. It's a life image basically.
Yeah,
it's a baby covered in soil.
Yeah, it's fucked.
Seed of some whatever, but like it's not doing good.
Yeah, they had to remove a bit, and they originally had the baby crying out as they but they had to remove it. Like that was the one stipulation for it to be aired. Otherwise, it wasn't gonna be aired.
That's too much.
That is a bit too much. But yeah, it's like silent. It's not too graphic. It's just like everything's implied. Except for like later on when you have like the horror house and there's like people getting axed in the neck and stuff like that.
Holy
like,
shit, the fucking people that get into those traps
get
fucking mauled. I was not expecting that at all.
Yeah, it's great. It's a great scene. And they have this other like pseudo-scientific thing where they Scully finds out that the inbred brothers and the father don't feel pain. They've evolved not to feel any pain.
Yeah, they got no nervous system or something.
Yeah, which is why the reason the mother is never brought outside or seen by the outside world is because her and her...
The audio for this section was lost. Mulder was right. The truth is out there.
It's fucked. It's so fucked.
Oh, fucking hell.
It's like it was on network television.
Shocking stuff, man.
Yeah,
it's awful.
Uh-huh.
Oh, fucking hell. It's so grim. I don't like, but it's good. It's good and everyone should watch it.
And they get away. Oh, no, wait, I shouldn't have said that, but...
They don't get away.
No, the mother and the father get away.
Yeah, kind of, with the car stops, but yeah, they do get away. Which you don't expect. It's like, oh, this evil's just moving around.
Yeah, it's always there.
Always there, always watching. Always watching.
Always watching.
But yeah, what else did I watch? I watched a bit of a Korean film. Did you watch anything else? Oh no, sorry, we are missing out on your Harry Potter talk.
Their Harry Potter adventure. I don't know about this one. I was forced at gunpoint to watch Harry Potter 5 and 6 at the weekend. And like, gotta be honest, they're not as bad as Order of the Phoenix is not as bad as I remember.
I like the way you backtracked there for a second.
Yeah. Order of the Phoenix is not as bad. It's just the fact that they're basically the same. Like, I watched Order of the Phoenix and Half-Blood Prince.
They're like part 1 and part 2 of the same film.
Yeah, they're basically the same film. And Deathly Hallows is probably, you know, I haven't watched it in a long time, but it's almost certainly also basically identical. I don't like Harry in these films. He's so like, he's too serious. He's too serious. He's too smug as well. It's like, oh, I'm the leader of the Order of the Phoenix. It's like, you know, it's like, that's not what Harry's about. And like, this is when he like comes into his dream is to be like a fucking FBI agent or whatever. Like,
yeah, to be a commando.
Yeah, to be like an auror. And he's just sort of a nerd, you know. He's not that cool. He's no charisma.
He's really awkward.
Yeah, he's mad awkward, but like not even in like
an endearing way.
Yeah, in a cool way. But Order of the Phoenix is it's not as bad because I had this image in my head of just the last 30 minutes, which is all just like in darkness in that big fucking hall of
nothingness
with the orbs and stuff like that. But it's actually not that. It's like most of it is actually set in Hogwarts, which I completely forgot about. Just nothing happens. Nothing happens.
That's the thing.
Nothing important happens. Like nothing entertaining. And it's all about, the Dark Lord is here. And then eventually they just stop caring and they just start saying Voldemort. It's never established why. Like, you know, it's just like Umbridge. Umbridge is annoying as well. She's pretty fucking irritating. It's like like, what's there to like about this film? Bellatrix Lestrange, was it Helena Bonham Carter? She's like not villainous at all. She's like a cartoon character. Yeah, it's not threatening.
No.
And then I watched Half-Blood Prince. I prefer Half-Blood Prince just because I like the book. But the best part of the film is obviously the betrayal. That isn't the betrayal. But I didn't even make it that far. I got 2 hours in. I was like, let's go to bed. Fuck this. This is too boring. I watched 4.5 hours of Harry Potter. I was like, let's go to fuck it. It's like it's 1:30 or something. Go to bed. You know,
fuck that.
Fuck this. I'm sick of this film. You know,
it's the same thing.
So the whole thing is complete. Like, out of the two films, the best part is the last half hour of Half-Blood Prince. Wasn't even enough for me to stay awake that long.
And those movies are so fucking long.
Yeah, they're just too long. Like 2 hours 40 minutes each. Like, get a grip.
Are you serious? 2 hours and 40 minutes each?
Yeah, each.
Get the fuck
it would have
outta
been 5 full hours of Harry Potter in a single day if I allowed that to continue. I was like, I had to put my foot down. I was like, no, we're going to bed. We're going straight to bed.
Get into bed. Holy shit. Hold on, I just need to check this. 2.5 hours.
2.5 hours.
Mark, I am so sorry this happened to you.
It's grim. It ain't great.
The last ones are mad long as well, though. The second last one is 2 hours, 2.5 hours. And then the last one is, I don't know, that's over 2 hours as well.
God, you know?
It's just so unnecessary.
Yeah, it's like Deathly Hallows is such a big book and so much happens in it. So like you could justify it like a 3-hour film. But the fact that like all of the other films where like not a lot really happens except for like the school stuff, like they're all 2 hours and 45 minutes. They almost had to split it up into like two massive blocks in nearly 3 hours. Because it's like they zoom in on the most minute stuff for the rest of the series. They had to like do the same for Deathly Hallows. But there's so much content in Deathly Hallows that it's like bloated and it's just all over the shop. I don't know. I'll probably watch them as well, to be fair.
You will. You will watch them.
Yeah, I'll be back. Yeah.
I should have watched these films with you. Only thing about our series, I should have done this with you.
Harry Potter, just like what can you say?
I don't even want to watch those movies. So.
Yeah.
Fuck that.
What can you say?
Fuck that.
Yeah, exactly.
Something I did want to watch though, and I've been wanting to watch for a while, is a little Korean film by the name of Burning. By the director, I have no idea what the director's name is, but he directed Secret Sunshine, which is a movie I watched like a year and a half ago now. Fuck me, that's a while. And I really liked Secret Sunshine. I watched it with I think Rachel watched it with me, and she liked it as well. Just very like I don't know how to describe it, like very bare bones, but like immaculately crafted and like really, really well acted. And goes places that you don't expect it to go, especially off the because I didn't know anything about the movie, so I just went in blind. And that film I was like, whoa, did not expect that. Very good though, really, really good. And Burning is kind of like that as well, but it's almost Hitchcockian in how it like builds tension and like you're kind of doubt over what's going on and whether what you think is going on is going on. It does it really well. It's with this guy. No idea what his name is. We're gonna call him Craig. Greg. Greg wakes up. You know, he's just like fucking living his life, whatever. And he meets a girl, and she goes off to Africa or something to do like fucking aid work or whatever, or like go on some retreat or something. I can't remember. She goes off for like a while anyway. And when she comes back, she's with our boy. Stephen Young or Glenn.
Glenn from Walking Dead, he's better known on this podcast.
Glenn anyway is a super rich dude, and he just met her out like on this trip or whatever, and she talks about Stephen Young, like she says like, oh yeah, this is my only friend in the world, this is the only person I have, and she like very much makes it very clear to the listener that she is completely alone, and it's about like what's going on, and like do we think that like, you know, Glenn had something to do with it? And we're never given a full answer kind of. I like the way Korean films do it quite a lot. Like that's kind of similar to like Secret Sunshine in a lot of ways. He kind of just does this thing where like it's very like mundane or whatever, but like it builds tension and like it's really realistic basically is what I'm trying to say. And like it feels like you are learning things while the characters do like really like in a really intense way, if you know what I mean.
Yeah,
It's really, really good though.
Like you're in their shoes. Damn, Burning.
Good film.
Yeah. Jeez, I'll have to get into that stuff.
And the more I think about it, because when I watched it, I was like, yeah, that was really good. But the more I think about it now, the more I'm like, no, that was doing something cool. Because like it describes Stephen Young's character as being like Gatsby rich. Like that's the type of money that he has. So like that brings into a lot of questions over like, you know, what are the themes and what's this film talking about or whatever. And in how it describes just like his wealth and how he reacts to things and how he's really like, he's kind of like Patrick Bateman-esque in a way as well in how he goes about things.
Yeah, he burns glass houses or something.
Yeah, he like has this like love for like burning glass houses. But
what does that mean?
yeah, see, like what does it mean? Like there's definitely layers to it. I think it has something to do with like throwing stones in glass houses kind of.
He burns them. Yeah.
Something like that.
It's a recent, isn't it? 2018 or something?
2018. Really, really good though. Really, really good. I recommend everyone watches it. Get yourself a VPN. Get yourself onto American Netflix and watch that bad boy. It could also be on Amazon Prime actually. I'm pretty sure it might. No, it's not actually.
It's not, no?
I don't think it is.
Have a look.
I'm not entirely sure. I think we checked Amazon Prime when we went to watch it. It's long as well. It's 2.5 hours.
Ah, Jesus.
But like, it's slow, but in like a really intentional way.
Slow burn.
Yeah,
you might say.
Slow burn.
And that's not on this.
Damn, I thought it was.
That's a shame.
But it's good. Seek it out. Watch it.
Yeah, I might have to.
Enjoy the
Is
the
it better than Secret Sunshine?
Yeah, I think so. But they're two very different films doing very different things.
Oh, okay, yeah.
Secret Sunshine's more about like grieving and faith, whereas Burning is more of a revenge story.
Oh, right, yeah.
But, you know, more to it.
Yeah.
It's good though. Very, very good.
Definitely.
Although I guess Secret Sunshine's a bit like a revenge story as well. But, you know, whatever. Boring shit.
Yeah, forget about that stuff.
Forget about that stuff. Go for a break?
Yeah, sure.
And we're back from the break.
We're back.
God, my legs.
Had a few cramps there. It was a bit difficult.
Bit of a walk was needed. But, yeah, what else did I watch? I watched a bit of... Not a bit. I watched a whole lot of Apocalypse Now. Francis Ford Coppola, 1979.
Back in the day.
A
great man. Great director.
Back when they were making movies, you know.
Yeah, they're really making it, you know. Not just half-assing things. Coppola knows his stuff.
He does indeed.
Apocalypse Now. What an insane film.
What a fucking batshit insane movie.
Yeah.
What the fuck? I remember watching this when I was younger. I only watched like a little bit of it. Can't remember why I knocked it off, but I completely forgot everything I'd seen about this film. Like everything was brand new. But I knew, you know, a lot about the film. You know, I read Heart of Darkness like because of college, and then with just knowing, you know, what the message of the film is, or whatever. It was really on the nose, really on the nose what it's going for, and it kind of shocks me. I remember you said before that they showed this film as like get you hyped for war in the US military or something.
Yeah, it's like a motivational film for American soldiers. I think there's a scene in Jarhead where they do that. Yeah,
they do, yeah. That is just insane when you watch this movie. Like this, because even at a certain point, like it's almost like too on the nose at a certain point, where like it kind of like, for me, the scene where they go to the boat and they just like for no reason like killed the Vietnamese people on the boat. That was almost unnecessary at that stage, because like you got the message, like you knew like who these guys were and what they were about, whatever. Like, you know, like every US like Marine, whatever, in the fucking film, like every soldier, like they're all assholes. None of them are likable, and they're like really, really destructive. So at that point, like I was like, you don't even need that. Like it's pretty obvious. And I was like, it's kind of like, how the fuck did they show this film as like a war celebration film? Like that makes no sense.
Yeah, it's because there's scenes that are like, they're almost like ecstatic. You know, when he's like, you have the fucking Ride of the Valkyries and he's shooting out the
yeah, but it's so
out the door, but he's like obviously a jingoistic kind of like caricature, but at the same time it's like, whoa, America.
He's literally a cowboy surfer soldier who like at one stage he's like, they describe him as like because he's like really like, I feel like he's really central to the movie. He's like the best like thing in the film nearly. for like a few reasons, but one of them being like he is so over the top and so ridiculous. Like he doesn't even want to go to drop them off the place. He's like, no, you can do that yourself, whatever. But decides, because they say to him, Martin Sheen says to him that the waves are really good there. He's like, alright, yeah, fuck it, I'll go.
Yeah.
Like that's the reason why he goes.
He's not interested in the war at all. He's like an adventurer.
He's just having a party.
He's just insane, basically.
Yeah.
That's Robert Duvall, isn't it?
Yeah, Robert Duvall.
Yeah, he's great.
He's amazing.
He really
man.
changed. Like, he doesn't look like the guy that he does now. He looks so different.
He looks, because I was watching it and then I remember seeing something like, oh, Robert Duvall. I was like, who the fuck was Robert Duvall? And then I clicked onto it, I was like, what?
Yeah,
like,
it's like he's in all the. He looks. Something happened to him.
He wears a big hat in this film and wears sunglasses a lot. He kind of looks like Woody Harrelson a good bit.
Yeah. But even in The Godfather, he doesn't really look like Robert Duvall. It's the same with James Caan in Godfather. He doesn't look like James Caan at all.
Yeah.
Like, what happened to them in like the 80s, I suppose? Or
The 80s is what happened to them, bro.
They really aged like milk. Like, it's so funny. But yeah, he's a great character in this, you know, because everything else is like pretty serious.
Oh, it's super serious.
You know?
But I think that's the reason why like it works in a way, because it's so serious and it's like really like showing the kind of like brutality of war or whatever. But then you just have these like G.I. Joe characters, like they're like a squad basically, like their own like little like division or whatever, and they're like, what are we gonna do with the boat or whatever? And he's like, don't worry, we can pick it up and bring it with us or whatever. He's like, don't fucking worry about this. Yeah. Like everything will work out perfectly. And it does for him. Like there's literally a line where Martin Sheen's like, he's the type of guy, you know, when you see him, he's gonna leave this unscathed. Like he knows that he's fine. And he literally, like at certain points, like explosions go off right beside him and he doesn't flinch.
Yeah, he's like the perfect soldier who's like already accepted his death and he's like racing towards, you know, he's like racing toward it. Like he wants it to happen, but he like doesn't care when or like how it happens. It's just gonna happen at some point. That's like, that's part of the thrill. It's part of the adventure, you know.
Which is the idea of empire in and of itself, which this film is basing itself off a book, which does that like that critique of empire. But this is like a critique of American imperialism, nearly, or just war as a whole, or the reason why America goes to war now.
Yeah,
especially because that was relevant in the 60s, and that's still relevant now.
Yeah, it still works now, Vietnam and all, you know. Like, what were they at back then, you know? What were they doing?
Yeah, and
I think Brando's amazing in it. Brando's
yeah, he is.
Obviously, like, one of the greatest performances, but, like, obviously, I think what makes it so great is the fact that he's, like, improv'd half the lines, or, like, wrote them the day before.
He was a disaster on set, apparently.
Yeah, he was a complete, like, cunt. You know, he's a horrible person to work with. But, like, he was so good, like, so much sort of capital off the first Godfather that he was able to command like a massive purse for this. He's like got paid something like half the budget or something like that was spent on him, and he only has a few lines in the film. And you barely see him because he showed up on set extremely overweight and refused to lose the weight, but they're like, we've already spent $5 million on this guy, like, we can't just sack him, you know. It's hilarious. It's like sort of worker power.
Yeah.
That's the power of a union right there.
Yeah. And he's great in it.
He's so good. He's like, you really gets across that kind of foreboding, you know. So there's something evil in that guy.
It's really like Shakespearean and like Greek in how it's like acted in a way.
Yeah.
It's really like mythic is how I'd describe his acting in it, and it works amazingly because he is a mythic character.
Yeah, because he's only like, he was a small guy, but the way it's shot and the way he sort of carries himself and the way he talks, you get the impression that he's like this sort of like a Judge Holden kind of character, like
that's what I was gonna say. Yeah, he feels like Blood Meridian. Yeah,
it's like a sort of Moby Dick, but like going after him, he's chasing himself or something like that.
Yeah,
like
it's fucking crazy.
You know, it's weird.
And then like just trying back to the fucking cowboy surfing dude, like the line of the film, I love the smell of napalm in the morning. Like that's the line, but like the line afterwards, which I think is really like kind of interesting, is something like, it smells like gas. And I think, and he talks about it, and like he's going into like describing it or whatever, but you get the sense that like the smell of gas for him is like filling up his car in the morning on the way to work. And that's kind of like the American dream. And it's like, it smells like victory. Like that's victory, going to work, being a good American. But that's also tied to the fact that he's the ideal soldier, and he's like like destroying poor Vietnamese people, like just massacring their villages and like like enslaving them nearly. And he's just like, yeah, this is fucking good too. Like it's both the same feeling for him.
Yeah.
The same satisfaction of being a good American.
Yeah. It's like, how did they scam those people into doing that stuff? You know, how do you train someone to do that, to gun down people, or to do something like, you know, the My Lai massacre and all those sort of atrocities that happened, or even napalm, you know.
Oh man, that bit. Oh man, I didn't even. We haven't even gone into like the like insane visuals of this film. This is like fucking, like, this looks like a proper war scene. Everything feels real and it's beautifully shot. It's so well shot. Just like the kind of epic, like, grandness of it. Not even like grandness of it, because it's not. It's like really, well, it is like big and grand, but that's kind of the point, that it's like seductive in like how impressive it is.
Yeah, it's like sublimity, you know. You're like seduced by how sort of how stimulating it is. Like it's just sort of, you feel like you're part of something bigger than yourself. I suppose that's the whole point of war, you know.
Yeah.
And then it's just like, because it was filmed on real sets and stuff. I think it was in the Philippines or Malaysia.
It's the Philippines, yeah.
Yeah.
And the sets got destroyed multiple times.
Yeah.
It was a disaster. This film production was a disaster.
Yeah, they almost didn't finish it, and he was like, "Nah, we have, like, we've come this far, like, we have to finish it." I think Brando was brought in pretty late in the process as well, because they've been trying to make this for ages. It was like his pet project, and this is like obviously Coppola's a huge guy, you know. He's like, he's just after The Godfather and stuff, and this is almost destroy him. This would be like his Heaven's Gate kind of thing. He's like, no, like, I can't let this happen to me, you know.
Yeah,
it happened like a year later. Obviously, Heaven's Gate sort of destroyed the, you know, New Hollywood stuff. But the fact that they managed to pull it off in the end is almost like encapsulates the film. It's like a macrocosm of the film, you know. Like, that is the whole process of producing and like making and editing the film was its own kind of venture into the heart of darkness. Yeah. Within like the studio system or something. I don't know.
Yeah, no, I don't know. I get what you mean though.
Yeah.
It's the explosions and the scale of everything is fucking amazing, and the camera weaves in and it's long takes and it lets you like really bask in it. It's amazing. And then it gets super fucking quiet when we get to Kurtz and all, because the tone like really shifts. And it is like this, it is kind of Greek actually, now I think about it even more, of the idea of like the river and like, you know, it being you know, the underworld or whatever, like madness or whatever, but that's also Aguirre, Wrath of God as well.
Yeah, it was massively influenced by Aguirre, wasn't it?
Yeah, so, massively.
Yeah, it is very similar in some ways.
Like going down this like river of madness kind of.
Yeah, except Aguirre is like at the end of it instead of or maybe that's what they find at the end of the river, you know. That's what's waiting, you know. Some fucking crazy ball guy who's like talks in like rhymes and like poems. It's like, speak straight, you know. Kurtz, you dope. You know? It's very, very different from the book though, isn't it?
Super different. Very Holy different. Shit. But there's similar lines.
Yeah.
Lots of similar lines, like the horror and all that shit.
Yeah.
I think they even they use like T.S. Eliot quotes or something in it, and I can't remember if that's part of Heart of Darkness as well. I can't remember.
Yeah, it's the because we did this before.
We did this with
one of the episodes earlier.
Oh, we did it in college as well.
Did we?
Talking about Heart of Darkness.
It was The Hollow Man is quoted in the film directly. And it's in the it's like the epigraph to Heart of Darkness, I think.
Yes.
Something like that.
And there's also like a line from the love song of Proof Rock, where he describes like scuttling across the floor like a crab. And there's something about Kurtz that's also like in the wasteland or something.
Yeah. There's a huge poetic influence on it. There's a lot going on in this movie.
A lot of literature in this film. And it all like uses it really well and like kind of transforms it and uses it like these old themes and these old like ideas from like, you know, World War One, with like, you know, the wasteland, and ideas of like, you know, imperialism and empire from Heart of Darkness, but then applying that to America in the 60s or just war in general, whatever, or modern war, and it applies then and it applies now. Like these are kind of timeless things and just kind of repackaged it.
Yeah. Like even like Heart of Darkness is based on Roger Casement's reports from the Congo, obviously. So it's like a real sort of document of what actually happened, you know. And like he was obviously a big sort of imperialist himself. You know, he was working for the British government. He went down there, went to Congo. He's like, this is bad. This is bad out for
pretty fucked up.
Yeah, this is fucked up. And then Joseph Conrad wrote a book about it, and then it turned into Apocalypse Now. But it's still, you know, still has that, still rings true to this day. Because there's something about it. It's like a universal kind of appeal, universal kind of values, and it says something about like how you sort of rationalize brutality and like rationalize adventure or imperialism or whatever. It's quite, but it's depressing to think about, but it's really fun to watch.
It is. It's a really, blast to watch.
Yeah, which is probably why it's such a good motivational film.
Yeah,
because it's like, oh yeah, they're killing the Kong or whatever, but like, it's also like, oh, these are actual people that are being killed. Yeah.
That's the only kind of flaw with the film I nearly give, is that you never.
It's too fun.
It's too, well, not that it's too fun, but you never really get the Vietnamese people's perspective.
Yeah, that's the problem with like most of them, isn't it? Most of those 70s, 80s American films about war, or about Vietnam in general. It's all about,
God, that was really bad what we did. We feel really bad about it.
yeah. It's like, killing those Vietnamese people made our soldiers sad.
Yeah.
It's like, so why did you do it? It's
like, why did you do it? Like,
so like, you know, there's no, none of the films ever reached like a resolution or like.
Yeah, never with that.
Never come to any sort of epiphany about like what happened or any sort of solid conclusion.
It's really fucked up.
Yeah,
and it's really arrogant as well.
Yeah, it's like if the Germans made a film about World War II.
Like, oh god, being Nazis was really tough on us.
Yeah, killing those Jews is just sad, man. Like, why did we do that?
Yeah, why did we do that? And then they kind of, with like all the Vietnam movies as well, and this one does it as well, where it's like, well, the soldiers there, like, they were just young and dumb and didn't know what they were doing or whatever.
Yeah.
But like, which is true, but it's also like, you know, they did this, like, they're not the victims of this. Well, they are in a broader sense, but within the actual, like, you know, climate of the war, you know, they're the perpetrators of violence. You know, we can talk about grander things, being like, oh, they were duped, whatever, by,
they were suckers, as one man once said. You know,
good old Trump.
Yeah, he was right. He wasn't wrong. The guy wasn't wrong about that thing. But I feel like there is a climate right now where they can make one about how the Vietnam War was just a bad idea.
It's just a bad idea. Like, and show from the Vietnamese perspective.
Something like that.
That definitely exists, but it's not big enough.
They still fuck it up. Yeah. They still ruin it.
Yeah, they would. They'd have like one really nice American soldier that like saves them or whatever.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, it'd be like a Mile High Massacre, but there actually was a good American in that, though, wasn't there? They should have made a film about the Mile High Massacre.
There probably does exist one. Yeah. That was not the way that were phrased. What did I say there?
There probably does exist one. It's the same, the right words.
It's not the right order.
Yeah, but maybe the Chinese will make one, you know? Because they're sort of tight with Vietnam.
We got this, boys. But it's very good, and I want to watch more Coppola films, because like I do need to rewatch The Godfather, because I haven't seen that film since I was like 13, but I liked it then, so
yeah, it's very good.
I'd assume I'd like it now. I probably like it even more now, to be honest. And then Godfather Part 2 I've never seen. I like Dracula. Dracula's very good.
He sort of changed though, didn't he?
My God, did he?
Yeah, what happened?
He's still alive, isn't he?
Yeah, he's still gone.
Jesus.
I don't know if he's making films though.
I don't think he is. He's not Scorsese.
Yeah, Scorsese, the king. He sort of kept it lit.
He kind of took the flame.
Yeah, took the torch.
What about? I don't know why. I always put like Sergio Leone. Is that his name?
Yeah, Sergio Leone.
I always put him in the same like tier, kind of whatever, as Coppola.
Same tier or like the same school?
Same school, same kind of vibe.
I don't know. He was in his 60s, wasn't he?
But he was Westerns. I don't know why I do that.
Yeah, spaghetti Westerns and all that.
Like Good, Bad and the Ugly and all. Although he did Once Upon a Time in America.
Yeah.
Which is a gangster movie. That film's like 4 hours long.
Once Upon a Time in the West as well, is that him?
Yeah, that's him as well.
Oh, that makes sense. Yeah, I want to watch that. Once Upon a Time in America.
Yeah, it's on Mubi.
Yeah.
It's really
4 hours long. It's like... But apparently it's one of the best films ever.
Yeah, apparently.
Yeah, would I trust that?
Allegedly. I'm trying to think, but like, what What other films are like that where they're like 4 hours long and they're like the best film? Like Ben-Hur, best film ever made.
Ben-Hur.
Never
heard of it.
Said by critics or whatever. It's like 4 hours long.
Is it?
Then what's the other one? Lawrence of Arabia. That's like 4 hours long as well.
Yeah, it has that big panorama thing as well.
Fuck that. I'm never gonna watch that movie.
Napoleon. 5 hours long.
5 hours long. Got an hour into it.
Those would be great event films. Like if the Lighthouse obviously doesn't have the technology to show most of them, but if it did and they put them on, you know, I'd go to them.
Yeah, same.
Not for, you know, obviously to have an intermission and stuff. Like Godfather 2 has an intermission. There's a point in the film where it just goes intermission.
Oh, really? Good.
Yeah. So, like I think that'd be cool. I've never had an intermission except for in plays and stuff. I think it'd be cool in the film. You know, you go out to the lobby or whatever, you talk about water cooler talk with the lads. You know,
Yeah.
or like whoever you're with, or if you're on your own, just sort of think about it.
That's actually a show, yeah.
You know, intermissions.
There's definitely places that do it.
Yeah.
I feel like the Lighthouse would do it. Or like IFI.
Yeah, I don't think their screens are big enough though.
For Lawrence of Arabia.
Yeah.
Oh, sorry. That's talking about like fucking like
Once Upon a Time and stuff.
Yeah.
In Godfather 2. Yeah, they could do that, but like, you know, it's like those are just films that are 4 hours long. I want a film that's extremely long, but also has like a selling point. You know?
extremely pretentious.
Yeah, I don't want it to be just long. I want it to also be extremely pretentious and to justify me going to see it.
In like a really like film historian academic way.
Yeah, I want to go in a bow tie and stuff, wear my glasses, you know, like something like Napoleon, where they have the triptych, like something like that. I'd go to see that, you know. I'd definitely go to see that. I'd set a day aside and I'd go see it.
But 5 hours long.
Yeah, and then you go, oh yeah, man, I saw Napoleon there, man. It's 5 hours long. It's 3 screens.
It's only alright.
It's alright, man. It's okay.
But like, I feel like if you're doing an investment like that, it better be the best fucking film I've ever seen.
Yeah, what people say. You know, it's just the attention span these days.
Oh man, I think it's just attention spans in general.
Have really shortened.
That could be the first film I've ever fucking seen and be like, this is boring as shit.
I just think they had longer attention spans back then.
Probably, yeah. I mean, I think there's like work done into this or whatever.
It probably is.
Probably is. More work than we're doing right now. We're just talking into microphones.
Yeah, chatting brown.
Will we
We'll move on to the listener
we'll
question.
mosey on down the river?
Yeah, if you want to ask us a question, you can get to us at paro_pod on Insta or on Twitter. If you want to email us, you can email us at theparopod@gmail.com. And our first question is from Coleman. God bless you, Coley.
God bless.
We love it. How important would you regard character development in films? Can a film be good without it? Have you thought about this?
I have, yeah. I've thought a bit about it. It's it's not something I ever take note of really. I don't think it's super important. I think films that kind of defy that often they can be they can be done really poorly and really boring. Or they can be something like Gummo and be really cool.
Yeah, there's no arc in Gummo.
There's no arc in any Korean film really, except for Spring Breakers from what I've watched.
Yeah. There's no arc. It's like documentaries. Like I think it's almost better when a documentary doesn't really have like a clear arc. So if they're trying to tell a story, it seems more like a film or like a fictional thing.
Yeah.
If they're trying to like sort of tie it up in a little bow, it's almost better if it's more realistic anyway. You know, because life doesn't have arcs unless you apply it retroactively. But even then, that's like a mental fabrication. So I don't know. I'm sort of agnostic on character development.
Yeah, because I like them, but I also don't really care.
What's your favorite character development?
Shrek.
That is a shout.
Who else has really good arc in the movie? Sam in Lord of the Rings. He's got a good arc. What about you?
What you call it?
Spider-Man 2's got a good arc.
It does. It really does. Yeah, that's one of those. Yeah, if you're making a film about a man who's also a spider, it's like you have to, have some sort of catharsis to it. And it's for Spider-Man 2 does a great job of that. I think Mikey Corleone, Godfather.
Yeah,
great arc.
Great arc.
In the first one. I don't care about the second one.
Apocalypse Now, main dude, whatever his name is.
Yeah, Michael Sheen.
Michael Sheen's character. Good arc.
Good arc.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like, it is important. Like, yeah, like there are good arcs, but they're not essential.
Aguirre.
Geary's got.
He's no real arc.
No, it's kind of floats
But
about.
that's kind of the point.
Kind of moseys.
He's crazy. He's fucking insane. He's so insane that he breaks the logic of the film that he's in.
I'm trying to think of like what other films, like Napoleon Dynamite.
How about the worst arcs?
What are some bad arcs?
Russ Cole, True Detective. The worst arc of all time.
Yeah.
Fact.
Yeah.
One minute he's a pessimist. He's what he calls a philosophical pessimist, anti-natalist, kind of like proto-fascist kind of character. And then all of a sudden he's like, oh, I love the world and there's hope, and for no reason.
Yeah.
You know?
Because he saw God, basically.
Yeah.
Well, it's basically implied.
Yeah.
What are some bad arcs? God, I can't really think of them. Some of them are just so fucking generic.
Yeah.
Like superhero ones at this stage are kind of boring because they're all the fucking same. It's the
Yeah.
same kind of arc.
Tony Stark, Iron Man 2.
That's
Apparently-
a bad arc.
Apparently that's an arc where he drinks alcohol and then he decides that it's bad for him. Or that's a character arc apparently.
Yeah,
you know?
if the character arc
That's
is
insane.
something fucking stupid. In fact, I'd say Tony Stark as a whole had a fucking bad arc. Like from where
It's
he
just a bad
started.
arc. Yeah. He's almost worse off at the end. You know, at least he wasn't lying to himself at the start.
Yeah, I'm trying to think of other superhero arcs now. Any like villains that have a good arc for you?
Villains.
Yes.
Darth Vader.
Yeah,
Great
Vader's got a good arc.
Vader's a great arc.
Most arcs though are just like good, like learning something to become better, or bad guys turning good.
Judge Holden has a great arc, but he has no arc at all. I think that's good.
That's yeah. Well, yeah. What are some other like no arc films?
I think the no arc films are cool.
The Noah arc films.
Does Noah have an arc? It's a trick question.
He believes in Jesus. He believes in God, and then he really believes in God.
Yeah. Jesus Christ. What do you think of his arc?
It's influential.
Does he have... It's influential. That's it. Majorly important for what followed. Yeah.
Changed the world. That's how good that arc was.
Is he a no arc character?
No, man, he's the most arc that ever arced.
Is he an arc? What's his arc?
He died.
He lived and then he died.
See, he's good, then he's bad, and he's good, then he's really good.
Where was he bad?
When he was dead, he wasn't doing that much.
Evil Jesus.
Evil Jesus.
Yeah, I missed that chapter in Leviticus.
Leviticus.
But yeah.
Colin, what a fucking question.
Yeah, what a question. Satan. How about Satan? What about his arc?
He's got a grey arc in
Paradise Lost.
Paradise Lost.
Yeah. That's a great arc, actually.
What are like characters of good arcs? Do you know actually kind of a bad arc?
Who?
Like I wouldn't say it's a bad arc, but I can see why people might. Ripley between Alien and Aliens. First Alien, pretty sexless character, which is something that I never read into the film until I heard it. Robin told me about that, like the sexlessness of the characters.
Yeah, they weren't written with genders, yeah.
Yeah, and I never picked up on that. I never knew that was a thing. And then I saw it in a video afterwards, which kind of went through it a little bit more because Robin just said it to me. I was like, what? And then it came up in the video. I was like, oh shit, yeah, that's really fucking obvious. But then in Aliens, she's a mom. Like she's gendered at that stage. But like that can be a negative for some people or a positive for others. So there's
Yeah, that's more of a sequel thing, isn't it?
Yeah, because you can't really have like no arc for two films. You know, that's just fucking Harry Potter.
Yeah, the Harry Potter arc. It's like, what does he learn? Voldemort.
He learns to be Jesus.
He learns to be the wizard Jesus, except he doesn't do anything that Jesus did. He doesn't even he doesn't kill himself, and he doesn't save anybody really. You know, he just sort of lets things happen. Jesus was a revolutionary, as we learned in the last episode.
Mm-hmm.
Harry Potter's not. He's a spook. He's a fed.
He's a soy boy.
Yeah, he's a
narc.
He's a narc. He literally is. He's a narc. Yeah.
Good question.
That's a great question.
Great question. Brought us some places.
Nah.
And then this question's coming in from Gav. Gav asks us, what films would you take with you to a desert island?
That's a great question. That's a classic
question.
If I ever heard one.
Straight out of Gav's mouth, classic. Straight through the thumbs, right into the phone.
Straight from the Tors.
To us.
The Tors?
The Tums.
Source.
The Tums.
The Tums. What 5 films would I bring? Alright, how about we do it? I say one, then you say one.
Yep.
Okay.
Do we want to do... Oh, no, it's your own personal opinion. Fucking... go.
What?
I was going to say, do you want to do categories of, like, vibes? Did you want to be on a desert island?
Yeah, we could do that. Alright, how about...
Or just 5 films, just go.
We'll go 5 films first. Alright. Go, Mo.
Napoleon.
That's a shout.
I'll watch it
More
eventually.
entertainment. Yeah. Godfather.
What's a good funny movie? Shrek 2.
The other guys.
See, I want to say like a horror film, but like
That'd be bad on a desert island.
be
wouldn't
bad on the. But also, you know, what if I cast away?
I was gonna say that.
Yeah, I'm gonna go Castaway.
Spider-Man 2.
Does Lord of the Rings count as one movie?
We'll count it. We'll
Okay,
count it.
alright, Lord of the Rings.
Lord of the Rings.
How many are we on? 4.
4, yeah.
This is the last one, 5.
Yeah. Videodrome.
And I'm gonna go with. I have no idea. Fury Road.
That's a show.
Just have a good time.
That is a show.
These are this is a terrible list to bring with me. If I swear to God, if I landed on a desert island now,
Fuck.
I'm like, what the fuck is this?
Yeah, you just go straight into the sea. Take me away.
I've never watched any of these movies.
I've already seen these films.
Except I keep Shrek 2 and just have that on the loop.
Yeah, maybe.
Okay, so if we're doing categories then, will we do like okay, so instead of like 5, we'll just go through comedy, horror, drama, war, whatever.
No drama. We'll do comedy, horror, musicals.
Comedy, those 3, comedy, horror, musicals.
Yeah, we can't have like an unlimited, amount of categories.
What about, okay, action then?
Action, yeah, action.
I was trying to adventure. Let's go. Or a family film. Family.
Families.
Yeah.
All right.
A family
But this
film.
time
So
we can't say anything. We only say the name of the film. So we're starting with comedy.
Comedy, yeah.
Comedy. Dumb and Dumber.
Step Brothers. I regret that.
Straight away.
Tropic Thunder. Tropic Thunder.
Tropic Thunder. I'll be the same. Tropic Thunder.
Do you know action?
Action.
Yeah, action films. Not like action. Like start.
Wait, what? Are we doing one each? One for each category? Or is it 5 for each category?
Oh, 1 for each. Oh, do you want to do 5?
No. We'll do. we'll do
okay.
one.
Yeah. Okay. Now I get you.
Yeah, I understand what you're saying now. Yeah, 1 for each category. All right.
Okay.
All right.
Are we doing 1 for each category? Or are we doing 5 films for each category?
No, 1 for each.
Okay. Right. So what's your action film?
My action film.
Yeah.
Tropic Thunder.
Then I'm gonna go with The Raid.
The Raid.
Horror.
Hereditary.
Ooh.
No wait, Peeping Tom.
Peeping Tom. Oh, good horror. Texas Chainsaw.
That's how did I not think of that?
Yeah.
Uh,
Like this doesn't scare me. I'm not gonna be eaten by any humans here.
was it comedy?
Musical.
Musicals? Shrek the Musical.
Does Penda's Fen count?
Oh yeah.
Or Wicker Man.
Yeah, that's a show. That's a clever answer.
Mm.
And
What was the last one? Adventure.
Adventure. Return to Oz.
Adventure's so broad. That's kind of hard to narrow down. I'm gonna go with.
Yeah, what would you call an adventure film?
I have no idea. Also, I feel like people might get pissed off over my musical answer, so I will say Sweeney Todd. Sweeney Todd with the Tim Burton Sweeney Todd.
Is that an adventure film?
No, that's my musical choice. If people are like, Penda's Fen doesn't count or whatever. Adventure film.
We're sick of these Penda's Fen stands and our
Yeah.
replies. Always calling us out.
Shocking. Bundle of 2 also, but God, I can't think of any adventure movies. Like, what's an example of an adventure movie?
Race to Witch Mountain.
What the fuck? Is that the one with The Rock?
Yeah. It's just your race.
I'm gonna go
Adventure film. What is that?
Yeah, this
Gulliver's
is.
Travels.
I'll go.
Heart of Dark or Apocalypse Now. Adventure
That's
film.
a war movie.
It's an adventure film.
It's an adventure, but fuck. God, why the fuck did I pick this option when I can't even think of an adventure movie? I literally can't think of one film that's an adventure film.
Castaway.
No, I already said that.
Yeah.
Okay, I'm gonna go with Shrek.
Shrek.
Shrek 1 this time.
Yeah, Shrek is definitely an adventure film. Fantasy adventure.
Fuck me, that was too difficult. Okay, now family movie.
Family movie. Cheaper by a dozen too.
Moana.
That's nice.
Moana.
That's a nice one. That's a very pleasant one.
Good vibes all around.
Good vibes. What about science fiction?
Videodrome. I think.
Yeah.
I'm trying to think of.
Blade Runner.
Yeah, or Blade Runner. Actually, for yeah, just pick The Lighthouse. Yeah, there's your Desert Olympics.
There you go.
And then our question to the listener was thoughts on removing the artist from the art, or separating the art from the artist, whatever. What are your opinions? What are examples of cases where it's super hard to do, or where it's super easy for you to do?
I'll take Claire's. Claire says a case by case thing. Sometimes it's easier and other times it's more difficult. I have to say, I basically agree.
That's basically the question, Claire, but whatever.
Sometimes it is easier,
Yeah.
sometimes it's more difficult. Definitely more of a fence straddler in this sort of situation. There's certain cases where you cannot separate the artist from the art.
What examples?
Examples, Lenny Riefenstahl, the Triumph of the Will, stuff like that. Like, you can't really separate the artist from the art there.
No.
Well, maybe you can, in the sense of like the shots and stuff like that. But then you have all those films they made about the Jews and like the, where it's just like, hook-nosed caricatures and stuff. Like there's no artistic content in there. Like you're not. But I don't know why anyone would want to separate.
But that's the
artist from
art. That's the art, though, inherently being racist as well.
What do you mean?
Like that's like inherently like not anti-Semitic.
Yeah.
Like that's already like a shit thing. So where's an example where, the person is bad, or like problematic or whatever, but the art is like suffers because of that.
Where the art suffers.
Yeah, where like you're not able to do that, and you think that like most people can't do it. I do agree with you though, like Lenny Riefenstahl and stuff like that. That is like that's impossible to separate the art from the artist.
Yeah, you can
because they're one and the same basically.
It's like, yeah, this is a Nazi rally. It's like, do I want to be a part of this?
Literally Nazi propaganda.
Yeah, it's literally Nazi propaganda.
I think it's really hard with some auteurs.
Well, there's stuff like Polanski and Woody Allen and stuff.
I think Woody Allen is way more difficult to do.
Yeah, it's hard because Woody Allen puts himself in his film.
Yeah.
And he's not like he's playing a character either. He plays himself.
Yeah, he's literally in the films most of the time.
He's in the films. He's just playing himself. But like also in real life, he's like a really weird guy. I don't know the exact allegations that are against him, but they're not good.
He married his stepdaughter.
Yeah, he married his
and
daughter.
And like groomed her when she was younger.
Yeah, which is not good. It's not what you want.
Not good.
So that is a bit weird. But Annie Hall is really good. I liked it. But at the same time, it's like I wish someone else was in it.
Yeah.
I wish someone else was the main character. Other than that, I don't know.
Yeah, it's hard when like the director or the writer or whatever puts themselves in the film and like you can feel them in the film. That can be like, because if something about like God, I'm trying to think of like who's another director that's like you can like any auteurs like Tarantino. Like if Tarantino did something.
He definitely did.
He definitely did. I don't know if I've never heard that he did, but he definitely has.
Yeah.
Him and Harvey Weinstein are best mates. Like,
exactly. And his feet thing.
That fella's got.
With Uma Thurman.
He's a weird dude. Like, if more concrete stuff came out, I'd be like, yeah, I don't know if I could watch a Tarantino film again because it's so him. Like, it's so fucking him. An example where I think it's super easy, Lovecraft.
To separate.
I think that's pretty easy to do there.
Yeah, they're very. I think it's also there's this case can be made that they are inseparable, but I disagree.
I was gonna say because, like, the horror comes from his racist fears and his misogynistic fears. It's what caused the cosmic fear and the horror that he created.
You can say that, but I completely disagree.
Yeah, I think you can say that. I think I probably would agree with you, but I also think it's super easy to just like remove it anyway.
It's a bit hairy, but I think it's more of a you know,
But he,
the chicken than the egg.
but
you
I
know?
also think that he's dead, you know,
Yeah, he can't harm us. He can't hurt us anymore. He's dead.
and it's all in the public domain.
Yeah, you know, he's not making money off it. It's like, why not? Why not read his stuff? You know, he's not making money. He's not gaining anything from it. All his descendants are dead. You know.
He wrote some cool fiction.
Yeah. Speaking of death, Gav says, "Death of the author."
Yeah.
He just says death of the author. I don't know what Gav is at today, but he's coming up with some pretty crazy answers to our questions.
Yeah. Well, Death to the Author, you know, Roland Barthes. I feel like I misunderstood that like multiple times. I'm not even entirely sure I understand what that means, but I think like, you know, it's completely removing the art from the artist, and like people can read into the film any way that they want, and they can do with the film whatever they want. Like whatever your intended meaning was doesn't really matter anymore once it's out in the public.
I think that's really important in terms of any sort of a critical analysis of media or culture or anything like that. Like you kind of like, you know, something like Paradise Lost that we mentioned before. Like no one can imagine that like John Milton like fully intended for all the readings that I read into it today to actually be no one can, like no one's gonna say that he actually meant for all those things to be read into it. Yeah, you know, like he was just some guy in England in the 1600s writing about, you know,
he didn't even write that. He was blind.
Yeah, exactly.
He spoke it.
Yeah. Like obviously there's an underlying theme, underlying message and stuff like that, but like there's all the stuff extrapolated from it is just, it's like fan fiction basically, which is an important thing. Yeah. I think, you know.
All academia is fan fiction technically.
Yeah. Fanfiction.net.
Yeah, it's all there.
Look it up.
Academia.net.
It's all
Fanfiction.net. It's all there. It's just more legitimized and more like, you know, pretentious, basically.
Yeah, sanctioned by the institutions.
Yeah.
Death of the author, though, I think it makes, you know, it's crucial. It's crucial. But at the same time, I think Gav is trying to say here that death of the author means that you can never hold the auteur in rank with their produce, with their output.
Nah, I disagree.
I completely disagree. It has to be.
Yeah. Because it's coming from somewhere.
Yeah, it has to be, yeah.
You know?
To be, there's some intention behind it, and you have to read into it. Like, what's, like, film, all this stuff. Culture is a social form, a social media, social form of media. So it has to be read in those ways. You can't just look at it in isolation. You can't just individualize it.
Yeah, you have to read into it, like who made it, what's the context, what's it talking about, you know? What about in terms of like actors and stuff like that? Like, could you watch a Kevin Spacey movie now?
Yeah. No, I couldn't.
Yeah, I watched Seven recently, and I was like, that's Kevin Spacey.
Well, I could definitely watch it. It was just like,
oh yeah, no, I can watch him, but like it's in my mind.
Yeah, it's like that guy's like a weirdo. Even though he was acquitted or whatever, but you know, acquitted,
yeah,
like quotation marks. But
even like I'm trying to think of Baby Driver was weird to go back to. That was weird when I saw that on the TV the other week. Yeah. That was fucking weird. I really noticed about that.
Usual Suspects.
Man, I actually just thinking there, American Beauty. Never ever can watch that movie again.
Yeah, it literally plays a pedo. How did people not see it?
Yeah, no, really, it was in our face the whole time.
Yeah, Usual Suspect as well. It's like, because he always plays like the slimy kind of like
greaseball.
He's like a greasy kind of character, and he's like, he knows better than everyone else. But like, you know, that doesn't work well with his like real life kind of track record or whatever. Well, Bryan Singer was involved in all that stuff as well.
Yeah, Bryan Singer.
But
I never know who he is. He did the X-Men movies or something.
He did the X-Men movies.
Yeah.
He did X-Men Days of Future Past, X-Men 1, X-Men 2 as well, I think.
Days of Future Past isn't that very good.
I like Days of Future Past. But
it's
like
good, but
at the same time, that's a director, you know. Yeah. Actors, I think actors are harder, you know. Same thing with Woody Allen. It's like, you know, get someone else in there.
Please.
But maybe that's like, it's like a testament to the fact that if you can see it, it's more repulsive. But if it's director, it's like you can sort of you can overlook it or whatever.
Yeah, you can't match the face to the crime or whatever.
Yeah, is that a bad thing? Is that a good thing? I don't know.
I don't know. Yeah,
I don't know.
Can't tell you. And then Paddy is saying, with films it's easier, but with music or other forms of art it is more difficult. Yeah, because I think music is a very personal thing.
Yeah. Like, what is there music that you like that you can't enjoy because of the actions of, say, Brockhampton?
Yeah, Brockhampton, yeah. Well, yeah.
You can't listen to those albums.
Not that I can't listen to them. I'm just like, I don't
weird.
want to listen to this, and it makes me feel weird.
Really?
Not even feel weird. I'm just like, oh, you guys are all kind of weird, and especially with the fuck, I can't remember his name now. Amir, stuff that like with Saturation 1, 2, and 3. It is weird going back to those albums and hearing his voice, especially because he brought the aggression to those albums, really, and then he was pretty aggressive in real life as well, so that doesn't help.
It's not great. What about, say, John Lennon?
No matter. Michael Jackson, I have no problem either.
Yeah.
But I also wouldn't really play it for people. I remember Blind Boy saying that about the Michael Jackson stuff. That he said, like, I'll listen to it by myself, but I'm never going to, put it on at a party or something like that. And I agree. Like, I'll listen to it myself the odd time, but, like...
You listen to Michael Jackson?
Yeah, but, like, they're not going to be a pretty young thing and, moonwalk across the floor.
Yeah, that's a show. Yeah. There's something about the distance of time, though, Time
plays a key factor.
Yeah, like, John Lennon's pretty bad to his, like, first wife.
Mm-hmm. Piece of shit.
But, like, great musician. And, humanitarian and all that stuff. But, Hey Jude is literally written about his neglected son, It's like,
yeah.
But, like, that's a great song.
Yeah.
It's a bopper, But, music is definitely more personal. Because you can't, like we were saying earlier, you can't dissociate it from the creator, from the producer. Like a director, you can obviously, ignore the fact that the director made it because he's not there. Musician, you can hear their voice, you can hear their work.
There's also a lot of more people involved in a film.
Yeah, exactly, yeah.
That's kind of the problem with auteur, like, theory as a whole,
Yeah.
It's very elitist. And then to do that with films, with, like, separating the art from the artist, like, I mean, yeah, the director's important, but, the editing is also really important. Has an editor of a film ever been cancelled and therefore the film's been cancelled? I don't think so. Like, you know what I mean?
That's so true, yeah. Yeah, has the cameraman on the film ever been accused of misdoing?
What about writers? Because we already talking about, like, Lovecraft.
J.K. Rowling.
Yeah, fact. Yeah.
Do you look differently on Harry Potter right now?
Yeah, like the like racism stuff like that sounds way more obvious now.
Can you not enjoy it though?
I haven't watched them, so I don't know.
Yeah, I can enjoy them. I enjoy them pretty much the same as before.
But it's the reading thing though, and
yeah, it's just some stuff is more obvious than before, like Cho Chang and stuff, and like the Orientalism, I suppose.
Yeah,
and
Orientalism
and stuff. But other than that, I think it just sort of holds up because books are also kind of different. I think
books are also like they're probably the most personal.
Yeah, they're the most personal, but yeah, in the same way, it's like you have to, like a song is something you listen to. It's like almost like, in most cases anyway, it's like a passive thing. Whereas like a book is something you create in your head, and like the words are just instructions basically. So it's like it's your own thing, and or you can make it your own thing. Like all those lads who wrote the Bible, like genocidal cavemen, but we still were like derive a lot of meaning from that kind of stuff, and a lot of people obviously love it. So books are, I think, a different animal.
Yeah, it's cool. Is there any music that you look back on differently? Like the Beatles or something?
Not really, no. Oh, what controversies have there been in music? Gary Glitter and Joker was pretty bad.
What?
Gary Glitter, you know Gary Glitter?
No.
Oh, he's like this British singer. You know the stairs scene in Joker?
Yes.
You know the song to that? That's Gary Glitter. It's I can't remember the name, but it's a pretty famous song. Like Gary Glitter was of course a British paedophile in the 80s, but he's a pretty bad. He's a Savile kind of character, like a precursor to Savile. But his song is in Joker. I was like, oh, that's so great, But he didn't, because that was brought up obviously once it was released, and they confirmed that he didn't get any royalties off it. I don't know how. But yeah, he's a pretty bad guy,
That's Scorsese pulling a few strings for Todd Howard.
Yeah, Todd Phillips.
Todd Phillips.
Yeah, Gary Glitter. I wouldn't listen to Gary Glitter though, to be fair. Normally.
What about like R. Kelly or something like that?
No, I don't really listen to R. Kelly, but like, I Believe I Can Fly, like I'm the world's greatest and stuff like that. It's like the songs are so ridiculous. I just can't take it seriously.
Yeah, Ignition remix
to hold him accountable over the airways. He's talking about how he can fly and stuff. It's like,
Yeah, I know what you mean.
you know.
It's kind of a joke.
Yeah, it's more of a
It's
joke.
a piece of shit, but
Yeah. Who else?
I'm trying to think of like other musicians and stuff like that. I can't really think of. I mean, they've all got like David Bowie and stuff like that.
David Bowie. Yeah, that's the thing. Like David Bowie, people like David Bowie. I love David Bowie. Like as an artist, I think he's a really smart guy, or he was. And his interview is really cool, and he's like really wise kind of guy. But at the same time, he did sort of ride a lot of 14-year-olds back in the 70s and 80s, and he did have the whole fascist phase and stuff. But then you have like Steve Tyler, who like I'm pretty sure he basically kidnapped a 13-year-old girl and married her.
Fucking hell.
Aerosmith. But that song, that's a great song.
Morrissey. With the Smiths.
Yeah, I don't really know it. What did he do?
Morrissey's the like a big fucking UKIP and all.
Is he?
Mad conservative, mad racist.
I don't know. I don't really
Listen to Smiths.
I don't really listen to Smiths. But like same times, I think even if I did, I don't think I'd really care.
Yeah.
There's times it's like the 80s and now. Even back then he was a Tory, wasn't he? He was a big Tory.
Pretty sure he was.
So like what about Ariel Pink, John Mouse, stuff like that? Like they haven't come out and support. They've never said they supported Trump, I don't think. But they were at the march and stuff, and they're like, they don't seem to take a side on it at all. What do you think about that?
Yeah, he's a weird fucking dude.
They are weird guys. Weird guys.
Yeah, the main dude anyway. I don't know what his name is.
What, Ariel Pink?
Yeah, I'm thinking of the right band, am I? The right dude.
Yeah, Ariel, like Baby and stuff, like Haunted Graffiti.
I
Pom
don't know.
Pom.
Yes, Pom Pom. Yeah.
Yeah,
Thank
yeah.
you. Yeah. That's two people. I thought that was one dude.
No, it's just Ariel Pink.
Oh.
Well, like he's like John Mouse.
Yeah.
Like
no.
their mates.
No. John Mouse. I don't know why I said yeah.
You know like Hey Moon.
No.
Well, like
You're speaking a different language to me here.
No. But like they're sort of similar, sort of underground.
But
artists.
I know this about Ariel Pink, and yeah, that's
because they were together at the march.
It's weird stuff.
Weird. But I still listen to his music.
Yeah, same. But like when they've actually done literal crimes, it's kind of more difficult to separate the art from the artist.
True.
It's case by case basis.
Case by case.
It's up to you. Don't let anyone make you feel bad for enjoying something if you enjoy it, unless it's super racist.
Fact.
You leave it at that.
We'll leave it there. So
yeah. All right. Next week we are talking about.
You're switching it up. You're switching it up.
Yeah,
again.
I switched it. I didn't switch it. No, I could say I'm actually gonna go back and I'm gonna record myself and say, "Hey, this is Owen." I've actually changed my mind.
Oh wait, forget about that then.
So, but I am. People will know that I've changed my mind. And we're gonna be going with "But I'm a Cheerleader," 1999 film directed by someone with an amazing second name, something like Babine or something like that.
Babine.
Something amazing like that. Great name. Yeah, good queer film. About lesbians and gender identity and whatnot. It's very I've heard nothing but good things. Everyone that I've ever seen talk about the film really likes it, so we'll see how we get on, Mark. See how us two straighties like it.
Straighties. Yeah, we'll see how it gets on.
So it's not Grave of the Fireflies like I originally said, but like our fans, quotation marks, don't know that was the original pick, but it's now going to be But I'm a Cheerleader.
But I'm a Cheerleader. Let's do it.
Let's do it, boys.
Let's do it.
Right. Bye.
Salutations. Bye-bye.